Here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo! And a little point afterwards!
Caitlin Clark isn't just a star, she's changing the game. Caitlin Clark might be the biggest name in women's basketball right now, and for good reason. As the WNBA begins its 29th season, all eyes are on the Indiana Fever's standout, guard. But this year, it's not just her game getting attention, it's the huge impact she's having on the league's growth and finances. Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's helping to reshape the future of women's sports. According to Ryan Brewer, a finance professor at Indiana University Columbus, Clark was responsible for an incredible 26.5% of all WNBA-related economic activity last season. That's one player driving over a quarter of the league's total value. Brewer told NBC News that if this momentum continues, with a full season of 22 home games and steady growth, Clark's impact could hit $1 billion in 2025. But her influence goes far beyond the money. Clark changed the way fans see women's basketball. She didn't just fill seats, she brought in more fans than the Indiana Pacers. The Fever averaged over 17,000 fans per home game, compared to 16,000 for the Pacers. Across the entire WNBA, attendance rose sharply, from about 6,600 to nearly 9,900 fans per game. TV ratings were just as impressive. ESPN games featuring Clark averaged 2 million viewers, and a preseason game at her alma mater, Iowa, drew 3 million, more than nearly every NBA preseason game in the last 15 years. Caitlin Clark isn't just making headlines, she's helping lead women's basketball into a new era. When Caitlin Clark plays, the country pays attention. Whenever Caitlin Clark steps on the court, America takes notice, and her influence stretches far beyond basketball. Behind the scenes, Clark is helping shape the future of the WNBA. The league is preparing for a massive $2 billion media rights deal set to begin in 2026, and they're already working on a new collective bargaining agreement, largely driven by the attention and revenue Clark has generated. To put it in perspective, her rookie salary is just $76,135. But off the court, her Nike endorsement deal is reportedly worth $28 million over 8 years. And it's not just the Indiana Fever benefiting. Clark is lifting the entire league. So far this season, all 10 of the best-selling WNBA games on StubHub feature the Fever. When she plays on the road, ticket prices shoot up, averaging $312, a 140% increase. Her presence has sent the Fever's value soaring. Finance professor Ryan Brewer now estimates the team is worth $340 million, almost 4 times what it was before she arrived. The impact goes beyond basketball. Clark is credited with adding $41 million to the Indianapolis economy. Hotel bookings, tourism, and corporate events are all up. Visit Indy, the city's tourism board, saw a 501% jump in web traffic after targeting her Iowa fan base with ads. They're now using Fever games to attract event planners who previously overlooked the city. From ticket sales to tourism, Caitlin Clark is doing more than changing the game. She's transforming the business of women's sports. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star, she's a movement. Caitlin Clark has quickly become one of the biggest names in all of basketball. She currently ranks 6th in merchandise sales on Fanatics, among all basketball players, including NBA superstars. Her influence is just as strong off the court as it is on it. Clark isn't just a standout player. She's changing how people view women's sports. New stars are emerging across the league, but Clark is doing something bigger. She's transforming the entire landscape of the game, and this is just the beginning. Who will take the 2025 WNBA crown? General managers across the league have weighed in with their boldest predictions for the 2025 season, from title favorites and MVP picks to breakout stars and coaching concerns. Here are 5 forecasts that could shape the year ahead. First, the big question. Who's winning the championship? Right now, the New York Liberty are the favorites to repeat, but don't count out the Minnesota Lynx. Led by defensive star Nafisa Collier, the Lynx came within a single possession of winning it all last year, and they're bringing back almost their entire roster. If defense really does win championships, Minnesota is in prime position to take the crown. When it comes to the MVP race, nearly every GM is on the same page. Nafisa Collier is the clear frontrunner. The MVP race is heating up. Nafisa Collier is leading the MVP conversation right now, with many picking her as the top choice. But Caitlin Clark enters the season as the betting favorite, and reigning MVP A'ja Wilson is right behind them both. Collier's relentless effort on both ends of the floor has made her the centerpiece of Minnesota's title hopes. Still, with Clark's explosive start and Wilson's continued dominance, this MVP race could be one of the most competitive we've seen in years. If GMs could start from scratch, half the league's general managers say they'd build around Caitlin Clark. With elite playmaking, great court vision, and a fast-growing fan base, she's more than just a rising star. She's a game changer who can turn any franchise into a contender. But when it comes to the player coaches fear the most, that's A'ja Wilson. Her versatility, physical presence, and ability to disrupt both offensively and defensively make her a constant problem for opposing teams. Clark and Brianna Stewart are also top picks when it comes to building around talent, but Wilson's all-around impact continues to make her one of the most respected players in the league. Wilson's game-changing power and the breakout stars to watch. When it comes to changing the momentum of a game, no one does it like A'ja Wilson. Her ability to control both ends of the floor makes her one of the most impactful players in the league. But there's rising excitement around the breakout star everyone's watching, Satou Sabally. She pulled in more than 20% of GM votes as the player most likely to break out this season. And she's not alone. Maddie Siegrist, Aaliyah Boston, and Ryan Howard are all poised for big years and could become household names by the end of 2025. The future of the WNBA is in very good hands. 5 bold predictions, straight from WNBA insiders. Will the Minnesota Lynx bring home the championship? Can Nafisa Collier lock in her MVP legacy? And who will emerge as the breakout star that changes the league? One thing's for sure, the 2025 WNBA season is going to be unforgettable. If you're ready for the ride, hit like. If you're backing the Lynx, drop your MVP pick in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest WNBA coverage. Quick update. Just 4 games into the season, Caitlin Clark already has a 48% chance to win MVP, according to Polymarket Sport. That's right, only her second year, and she's right at the top. Here's what Caitlin Clark had to say about being part of the MVP conversation last season. Insert quote here. Let me know if you want help crafting the quote section, building this into a full article or video script, or turning it into a series for social media.
They vote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what does that mean to you to know that there are journalists who cover this league day in and day out who believe you are one of the top 5 for the MVP award?
It's definitely cool. I think especially where I started the year and then was able to kind of figure it out as we go, and now entering game 40, like it feels night and day from where I started. And you know, I'm proud of myself in that regard. I think I've learned a lot, and I've had to learn without really much time to practice or have an off season to implement things that I want to implement, and having to learn, you know, a new scheme and new teammates and new coaches. So, you know, trying to balance that all at once has definitely been difficult, but once we kind of found our groove, I think, you know, my teammates have allowed me to be myself, and that's what's kind of brought us some success. But it's definitely special. But I think one of the biggest things for myself is, like, I've tried to keep basketball the main thing, and just to enjoy it and play fun, and play and have fun, play free. I think that's when I'm really at my best. but at the same time, like, you don't get caught up in all of that. That kind of just comes with how you perform on the floor. So it's definitely a cool honor. People that have been in the basketball world or the WNBA space for a really long time to think of you in that way, but at the same time, I feel like there's just so much room for me to improve, and obviously, you know, we have big goals in the playoffs entering that here in our last regular season game. I still feel like there's a lot more for us that we can achieve and still, you know, exceed some expectations that people have for us. So I think more than anything, that can get myself further, get us further as an organization. So I think that's it's been cool for myself in this first year, is just, you know, approaching every single day like, you know, it's new, it's fresh. I think early on, that was the best thing about us, just our energy. Like, it never was flat. We came in and we got better, and we knew that the tide was going to turn for us, and it certainly did.
We've got time for 2 on